There was a man, not different from you, not more educated, not more privileged, not born into wealth, but he knew something, he remembered something, that all things begin not in the world, but in the mind. And so he wrote. He didn't try to beg, he didn't try to plead with the universe. He wrote as if the thing had already been done. He wrote from the end. He took a piece of paper and with the stillness of conviction he penned, "I am so grateful I won the lottery. The winning numbers were called and I felt calm. I knew it was mine." And he repeated it, not with effort, but with joy, with stillness, with inner knowing. He wasn't waiting for evidence. He became the evidence. He didn't check the odds, he checked only his inner state. Every day he returned to the page, not because he doubted, but because he delighted in the assumption. He lived inside the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He walked like a wealthy man, he gave thanks like a wealthy man, he wrote as a wealthy man would write, calm, direct, and certain. The world told him he was foolish. But the world only mirrors the voices within. So he ignored the noise and listened to the still voice inside that whispered, "It is done." And then it happened. The numbers were drawn. His hands did not shake. His heart did not race. He had already received it in the unseen. The physical was just a delayed echo of the truth he had accepted long before. This is how it works. You do not write to get, you write because you already have. You do not imagine to attract, you imagine to awaken what is already yours. So I ask you, how would you write if you knew you couldn't fail? How would you speak if the universe had no option but to deliver? How would you live if the money was already on its way? Write like that, think like that, feel like that, and you will see that nothing is withheld from the one who knows who they are. You are not trying to win the lottery. You are awakening to the truth. You are the one who gives the command. Your outer world is not shaped by chance, luck, or circumstance. It is the outpicturing of your inner state. The thoughts you dwell upon, the images you nurture in your imagination, the assumptions you hold as true, these are the architects of your experience. To believe that wealth comes from external causes is to hand your power over to the illusion of the world. But once you grasp that imagination is the true cause of wealth, you begin to live from a different center. You stop trying to manipulate the outer world and instead begin to master the inner. To win the lottery, or to achieve anything that seems unlikely or miraculous, one must not seek to become lucky. Luck implies randomness, but there is nothing random in a universe governed by consciousness. There is only reflection. What you accept and believe within yourself is faithfully mirrored back to you by life. The man who wins is not the man who wishes. He is not the man who writes out his desires while simultaneously doubting them. The man who wins is the one who assumes the state of the winner. This is not about positive thinking or repeating empty affirmations. It is about shifting into a new state of being. To assume the state of already being wealthy means you begin to feel the life you would live if your desire were already fulfilled. You do not wait for the external world to validate your imagination. You move inward to that secret place, and you see yourself already possessing what you desire. You hear congratulations in your imagination. You feel the softness of the sheets in your new home. You smell the leather of your new car. You write not to beg, but to declare. There is a great difference between wishful thinking and inner knowing. Wishful thinking comes from lack. It says, I want this because I don't have it. Inner knowing says it is already mine. And so when you write, write from the end. Do not write, I hope I win the lottery. Write, I am so grateful I have won. It feels peaceful. Everything is unfolding perfectly. And as you write, do not just scribble words. Feel the truth of what you are declaring. Let it saturate your mind and body. Let the words become real to you. This is not about faking it. This is about awakening to a deeper truth, that you are not separate from your desire. The moment you assume it, the moment you live in it inwardly, it begins to harden into fact. You must become so convinced of your inner reality that the outer world cannot shake you. You may not know how or when it will arrive, but that is not your concern. The bridge of incidents will unfold in perfect time. Your only task is to remain faithful to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You do not need to chase, manipulate, or scheme. You only need to imagine. Imagine vividly, imagine consistently, imagine boldly. Your imagination is not a fantasy. It is the creative power that forms your reality. Use it wisely, for it is always at work. And when you write from that sacred place of inner conviction, you are not merely expressing hope, you are setting creation in motion. When he sat down to write, he was not a beggar hoping the universe might toss him a coin. He was a creator aligning himself with the reality he had already chosen. The words he wrote did not come from doubt or desperation, they came from authority. He didn't ask, will it happen? He stated, it has happened. The subtle difference in tone, in belief, in posture is what separates those who receive from those who only wish. Words are not mere symbols on a page, they are vehicles of power. When spoken or written with conviction, they move unseen forces into action. He understood something most never do, that words mold reality. Not because they are magic in and of themselves, but because they carry the energy, the assumption, and the inner state of the one who speaks or writes them. When he wrote, I am the winner of the lottery, he was not engaging in fantasy. He wasn't daydreaming or toying with a nice idea. He was stepping into a new version of himself and affirming what that version already knew to be true. The pen became a sacred instrument. It was no longer ink on paper, it was command upon consciousness. People often write from a place of fear. They journal their worries, they write about what they lack, they chronicle what hasn't gone right. All this does is reinforce the current reality they claim to want to escape. But when he wrote, it was different. He didn't record his current situation, he declared his new one. He didn't say, I hope one day I will win. He said, I have won. And then he felt what that meant. He infused the sentence with certainty, calm, and peace. He didn't need to see the numbers yet, because he had already seen them within. Words backed by belief become law, not because the world must obey, but because the world does obey the inner convictions of man. The outer responds to the inner. And so he wrote not to convince the world, but to convince himself. Every sentence was a reminder to his deeper self. This is who I am now. He rewrote his identity, not by force, but by repetition, by assumption, and by feeling. Eventually, there was no longer a question in his mind. It felt natural to declare, I am wealthy, I am chosen, I am grateful. And so it became. He treated the act of writing as sacred. He didn't rush. He didn't worry if it was working. He knew that each word was planting a seed in consciousness, and as surely as a planted seed sprouts, the reality he wrote about had to come forth. Not because he begged, not because he asked nicely, but because he spoke it into existence. Reality takes shape through conviction, and conviction is often expressed most powerfully in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, when nothing yet appears to have changed. But the change begins in those unseen moments. He didn't wait for evidence to believe. He believed, and then the evidence came. His words were not empty. They were aligned, saturated with meaning and echoing a truth that had already been accepted in his imagination. This is how reality is rewritten. Not with force, not with striving, but with deliberate, powerful words that come from knowing. He didn't just write to express desire. He wrote to declare identity. And when identity changes, so does the world. He didn't sit down to write as a man waiting for something to happen. He wrote as one who already knew it had. And more than the words he penned, it was the feeling behind them that moved mountains. He didn't just write, "I am the winner of the lottery," with idle hope or mental repetition. He wrote it with a heart that had already celebrated, with a spirit that had already received. That feeling, the thrill of accomplishment, the peace of security, the joy of abundance, that was the true power behind his creation. Feeling is the secret ingredient. Not action, not struggle, not even the repetition of affirmations. It is feeling that impresses upon the unseen and molds the formless into form. Words are the brush strokes, but feeling is the color, the depth, the life. He understood that without emotion, a sentence is just ink on paper. But infused with feeling, it becomes a living force, a signal to the universe that says, "This is real for me now." When he imagined holding that winning ticket, he didn't just see numbers. He felt the weight of the paper, the rush of disbelief giving way to certainty, the gratitude washing over him like a wave. He felt the calls he would make, the relief in his chest, the tears he would wipe from his eyes. He made it real, not through effort, but through inner experience. And in doing so, he shifted his state of being. He was no longer the man hoping to win. He became the man who had already won. And the world, always a mirror, had no choice but to reflect that change. This is where many miss the mark. They repeat the words, they visualize the event, but they forget to feel. They wait for circumstances to change before giving themselves permission to feel what they desire. But this man reversed the order. He felt it first. He didn't ask life to give him something new. He gave it to himself in imagination, and life followed. It always does. Emotion is the bridge between the inner and the outer. It is the proof of belief. You cannot feel what you do not accept as possible. And once you allow yourself to feel the result as though it has already happened, you step into a new state. From that state, actions are different. Thoughts are different. Outcomes are different. He lived from the end, not in fantasy, but in faith. And that faith had a sound, a temperature, a vibration. It was felt. The feeling came before the wind. It had to. Just as a tree grows from a seed buried in the dark soil, the manifestation grew from the unseen certainty he cultivated in silence. Each day he returned to that feeling, not out of impatience, but out of joy. It became his dwelling place, his sanctuary. While others waited for proof, he became the proof. He carried the evidence within him, and eventually the world bowed to it. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was alignment. It was emotional certainty. The world cannot resist a heart that knows. And his heart knew long before the numbers ever did. There were no signs in the sky, no divine signal, no hint from the outer world to suggest he was close. No sudden luck, no dreams offering confirmation, no voice from the universe whispering, "It's coming." It was silent. Still. The world gave him nothing to lean on, and yet he persisted. He kept stepping into the scene of the fulfilled desire, not once, but every day. When others would have grown tired, when doubt would have crept in and whispered, "Why are you still doing this?" he answered with quiet certainty, he wasn't looking for signs. He was the sign. His persistence didn't come from desperation, it came from knowing. He understood a truth that few are willing to live out. What you assume as true within consistently and faithfully must reflect itself without. It is law. So he persisted, not to force the world, but to remain faithful to the version of himself he had already accepted. That version, the one who had already won, already received, already experienced the miracle, was more real to him than the man the mirror reflected. The outer world was simply taking time to catch up, but his inner reality was already alive. This is the quiet courage no one talks about. The strength to keep assuming in the face of nothing. No reward yet, no movement, just stillness. Most would break, most would give up and declare it's not working. But he knew better. He knew the world conforms to sustained inner conviction, not to fleeting thoughts or half-beliefs, but to unshaken assumption held firm over time. So he kept writing, not to convince the universe, but to remind himself, not to ask, but to declare. He didn't write because he doubted, he wrote because he believed. It became his daily ritual, his alignment with the unseen truth. Each word he wrote, each time he imagined, was a step deeper into the state of the wish fulfilled. And though the world remained quiet, he moved with assurance. He laughed when others worried. He gave thanks when nothing had shown up. He walked as the man who had already received it. That is the power of living in the end. You no longer seek, you express. You no longer ask, you assume. An assumption, when held daily, becomes identity. That identity draws the corresponding world to itself like a magnet. The outer must bend to the inner. There is no other way. The scene changed, not by chance, but by law. The winning numbers came, the impossible became fact. But by the time the event unfolded, he was already prepared. He had lived it 1,000 times in imagination. He had felt it, breathed it, become it. And the world simply followed the path he had carved out with his persistent assumption. You do not need evidence to persist. You only need conviction. Do not wait for signs. Be the sign. Persist beyond sight. Live from the end. Let your assumption be your truth, even when the world remains silent. And in time the silence will break. Not because you forced it, but because you faithfully lived in the reality no one else could see but you. He didn't tell the world what he was doing. He didn't post it, share it, or ask for opinions. He understood something most never grasp. The creative power is not loud, it is sacred. It is not something to display, but something to dwell in. So he kept it close. He didn't declare his desire to the world, he whispered it to himself. He wasn't seeking validation from others, he was anchoring his own belief. This was a personal conversation, a silent dialogue between his present self and the version of him that already lived the fulfilled desire. When he wrote, he wasn't scripting a message to convince the universe. He was aligning his thoughts with a deeper truth. He wasn't pleading, he was confirming. He was not trying to make something happen. He was remembering what was already done in the unseen. He knew that speaking too soon or too widely often waters down the power. That desire, once exposed to doubt, begins to wither. Others project their fears, their logic, their disbelief, and that pollution can infect your own vision if you're not rooted. So he protected it. He didn't explain himself. He didn't try to convert anyone to his way of thinking. He honored the process in silence. He knew this power doesn't require noise. It requires intimacy. He treated his imagination like sacred ground. Each time he wrote, he tuned in, not to the world, but to the voice within, that inner voice, the one that says, "It is done," was the only one he needed to hear. And so, he wrote not for show, but for self. He was not asking life to give him something new. He was reminding himself that it was already his. And that reminder, repeated in stillness, was enough. In this sacred space, where no one else was watching, he became someone new. He dropped the version of himself that was waiting and stepped into the one who already had. In that private exchange, pen to paper, thought to word, mind to spirit, he wove a new identity. And this identity didn't need confirmation from the outer world. It was secure, sustained, and sufficient on its own. He didn't need to be told it was working, he felt it. That feeling became his proof. He wasn't interested in announcing the process, he was living the result. His life became the announcement. Not because he declared it, but because he became it. And when the evidence arrived, it was simply the world catching up to what he had long known in secret. This is the way of true creation. Not performance, but communion. Not spectacle, but stillness. It is not in shouting what you want, but in embodying what you have already received. He honored that, and it made all the difference. His success wasn't born out of noise, but from quiet conviction. While others waited for external permission to believe, he gave it to himself. He spoke to himself, and in doing so, he tuned the world to his frequency. The future didn't come because he begged for it. It came because he agreed with it in the silence of his own soul. When he sat down to write, he wasn't just scribbling desires on paper. He wasn't hoping, he wasn't asking, he was remembering. Remembering who he truly was. In that quiet moment, pen in hand, he wasn't a man trying to win the lottery. He was something far more powerful. A creator calling forth an experience from the invisible realm into the visible world. He had awakened to a truth that changes everything. The words I am are not to be spoken lightly. They are not a wish, they are not a request, they are a decree. And what follows I am must come to pass because it is a statement of being. He was not trying to become a winner. He assumed that identity right then and there. I am the winner of the lottery. Not one day, not maybe, but now, that sentence, spoken in the silence of his own heart, was not fiction. It was creation. And so, when he wrote, it was not a man writing to get something, it was a being remembering what was already his. He had moved beyond begging and beyond striving. There was no more trying, there was only knowing. Knowing that consciousness is the only reality. Knowing that what you accept as true of yourself becomes your world. He did not need to see the wind to believe it. He believed it, and therefore he would see it. Every time he wrote, it wasn't to convince the universe. It was to align his mind with the truth of his being. He was not an observer of reality. He was its architect. He was not under the control of fate or chance. He was the very source from which circumstances flowed. And he knew that the outer world would conform, not because of effort or force, but because of assumption held with unwavering confidence. He called upon this truth not just with words, but with feeling. He felt the power of I am. He breathed it. He lived it. When he walked through the world, he didn't carry the energy of someone hoping to win. He moved with the calm certainty of one who already had. The inner shift had occurred, and so the outer shift was inevitable. This was no longer a game of luck. It was a fulfillment of law. The law that states whatever you feel yourself to be, you will experience. And so he kept returning to that truth. Again and again he affirmed not just the outcome, but the identity behind it. He wasn't becoming someone else. He was uncovering who he had always been, the one with the power to declare, I am. and know it would become flesh. He did not ask, will it work? He knew that question only arises when you forget who you are. And he refused to forget. He remembered. And in remembering, he won. Not just the lottery, but the mastery of himself. The outer win was merely a reflection of the inner command. When the numbers finally appeared, when the world finally caught up, there was no shock, only gratitude. He had already lived it, already claimed it, already become it, because he remembered who he truly was, and that memory shaped the world around him. So you see, he did not win by chance. He won because he remembered the truth, that the imagination is the womb of reality, the world is the seed, and feeling is the life that brings it forth. He did not ask the world to give, he assumed it was already his. He didn't beg, he declared. He didn't seek signs, he became the sign. While others waited for proof, he lived as proof. Day after day, in silence, in certainty, he wrote not to wish, but to affirm. And in doing so, the invisible became visible. The unseen became seen. This is the path for all who dare to believe. You do not hope for what you want, you become it. You do not look to the world for evidence, you create the evidence by embodying the end. That is the power within you. Use it. Trust it. Live it. Saying thank you. Thank you for listening. May you walk forward now with quiet confidence, knowing that your inner world holds the key to all you seek. And may you write, not to beg, but to command. Because your words, your feelings, and your assumptions are the tools of creation. Use them well, and the world will reflect what you already know to be true. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you today to silence the noise of doubt and embrace a profound truth: your miracle is coming. It is not a question of if, but a question of when. You see, life is not governed by what your eyes behold or what your hands can touch. It is governed by the unseen forces of faith and imagination. When you align your inner vision with unwavering belief, the universe moves to deliver what you seek. Picture this: a farmer sows seeds in fertile soil. Does he dig them up each morning to see if they are growing? No, he trusts the process, knowing that the harvest is inevitable. So too must you plant the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your mind and trust that it will bloom. But there is a secret, a key that few dare to use. Live as if your miracle has already happened. If you seek abundance, walk with the confidence of one who lacks nothing. If you desire love, carry the joy of someone who is already cherished. If you long for healing, feel the vitality coursing through your body even now. Your senses may mock you, the world may appear unchanged. But remember this: what you persist in imagining with feeling will soon become undeniable fact. Your emotions are the power that fuels your miracle. When you feel gratitude as though your desire is fulfilled, you summon it closer, like a moth drawn to a flame. And yet there is one more vital truth. The miracle you await has its appointed hour. The higher power in infinite wisdom orchestrates its perfect arrival. Do not rush, do not fret. Trust that it is on its way, and it will meet you at the exact moment when all things are aligned for your greatest good. So I implore you, my friends, hold fast to your vision. See it clearly, feel it deeply, trust it completely, for the path to your miracle has already been laid, and it is walking toward you even now. To believe this, your miracle is coming. It is as certain as the sunrise, as unrise, as unstoppable as the tide. Claim it in your heart and watch as it unfolds before your eyes. The unseen world is shaped by your unwavering belief. What you hold as true within the depths of your mind is the foundation upon which your external reality is built. Faith is not a passive state, it is an active, living force that molds the unseen into the seen. It transcends the limits of your senses and operates in the realm where all possibilities exist. To trust that your desired outcome already exists, even when there is no physical evidence, is to align yourself with the creative power of the universe. Faith begins in the imagination, where you see not the world as it is, but as it could be. When you close your eyes and picture the life you desire, you are stepping into a realm of infinite potential. This act of envisioning is not mere fantasy, it is the first step in bringing the invisible into form. But faith demands more than a fleeting thought. It requires that you hold on to this vision with conviction, regardless of what your external circumstances may suggest. It asks you to stand firm in the belief that the outcome you seek is not just possible, but inevitable. Doubt is the great disruptor of creation. It whispers that your vision is too grand, your desires too unrealistic, and your dreams too distant. Yet the power of faith lies in its ability to silence these doubts. Faith does not waver in the face of obstacles, it sees beyond them. When your senses tell you that nothing has changed, faith reminds you that the unseen is always at work. It asks you to trust in a process that operates on a level beyond your immediate understanding. To align your faith with your desired outcome, you must learn to see with the eyes of your heart, not the eyes of your body. Your physical senses are bound by the limitations of time and space. They can only report what is already present. Faith, however, taps into the eternal now, where all things exist simultaneously. When you hold unwavering belief in your desired outcome, you are not waiting for it to happen, you are calling it into existence. This process requires persistence. Faith is not a fleeting emotion, but a state of being that must be cultivated daily. You may find yourself tempted to give up when results do not appear immediately. Yet this is the crucial moment where faith must prevail. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone. With each strike, the form within becomes clearer, even if progress seems slow. So it is with faith. Each moment you maintain your belief, you are shaping your reality, even if the changes are not yet visible. Faith also demands a partnership with feeling. To simply declare belief without embodying it emotionally is to leave the work incomplete. When you trust that your desired outcome exists, you naturally feel the emotions associated with it. Gratitude, joy, and relief are powerful indicators that you are aligned with your faith. These emotions are the language of the unseen, signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive what you have envisioned. There will be moments of testing, where the gap between your vision and your reality feels insurmountable. These are not signs of failure, but opportunities to deepen your faith. Each challenge is a reminder to return to your belief, to stand firm in the knowing that what you seek is already yours. The unseen world is not swayed by doubt, it responds only to the consistency of your conviction. Your faith aligns reality because it operates on a principle as old as creation itself. What you believe to be true will become your truth. The power of faith is not in forcing outcomes, but in surrendering to the certainty that they are already in motion. To trust in the unseen is to participate in the very act of creation. It is to know that your belief shapes the invisible threads of reality, weaving them into the fabric of your experience. Faith, when unwavering, transforms the impossible into the inevitable. The life you desire is born in your mind. Every great accomplishment, every remarkable transformation begins as a single thought, a vision held within the realm of imagination. This is not a coincidence, it is a fundamental truth about the nature of creation. Imagination is the seed from which all possibilities grow. It is the fertile ground where the unseen takes root, nurtured by your focus and belief, until it blooms into the tangible reality of your experience. To imagine the life you desire is to step into a creative process that defies the limits of logic and circumstance. It is in the mind, not the physical world, where the first spark of change occurs. When you close your eyes and visualize your ideal life, you are not simply daydreaming, you are planting seeds. You are constructing the blueprint for what will manifest in your outer world. This is a sacred act, a deliberate choice to engage with the infinite potential that resides within you. Seeing your desired outcome in your mind is the first step. Visualize it in vivid detail as if you are already living it. What does your life look like? What do you see around you? What colors, textures, and shapes fill your world? Your imagination has the ability to create scenes so real that they rival your waking reality. Use this power deliberately. Create images of success, abundance, love, or joy, whatever it is you desire. Let your imagination roam freely, unconstrained by the limitations of your current circumstances. But imagination is not merely about seeing, it is about feeling. To fully activate the creative potential of your mind, you must step into the emotional experience of your imagined life. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the exhilaration that comes with living your dream. These feelings are not just pleasant, they are essential. They act as the energy that brings your vision to life. Without feeling, imagination remains an inert concept. With feeling, it becomes a living force. Claiming your desire as yours now is the final transformative step. This means you no longer see your vision as something distant or unattainable. You embrace it as a present reality, as though it has already been realized. This shift in perspective is powerful. It sends a clear message to the universe that you are ready to receive. It aligns your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to create. When you claim your desire, you eliminate the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This process may feel unnatural at first. Your senses may try to convince you that your imagination is a lie, that what you see and feel in your mind has no basis in reality. But this is the great paradox: what exists in your mind is more real than what your senses report. The physical world is merely the reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Your imagination, on the other hand, is the birthplace of what is yet to come. Trust in this truth, even when your external reality seems unchanged. It is important to nurture the seed of your imagination with persistence and care. Like any seed, it requires time to grow. Do not dig it up with doubt or impatience. Instead, revisit your vision daily. See it more clearly, feel it more deeply, and claim it more confidently with each passing day. Trust that the process is working, even if you cannot yet see the results. Your imagination is the starting point, but it is also the sustaining force that keeps your vision alive until it becomes reality. Challenges may arise, and distractions may attempt to pull you away from your vision. In these moments, return to your imagination. Let it be your sanctuary, your source of inspiration and strength. Remind yourself that your mind holds the power to shape your life, and that what you imagine with clarity and conviction must come to pass. Imagination is not a passive act. It is an active declaration of what you intend to create. It is the seed from which your future grows, the bridge between the unseen and the seen. By seeing, feeling, and claiming your desires now, you step into the role of creator. You align with the truth that your life is not something that happens to you, it is something you shape, beginning with the images and emotions you hold in your mind. From this seed, all things are possible. Do not wait for circumstances to confirm your miracle. Act as though it has already happened. This principle, simple yet profound, holds the power to transform your life. The key to manifesting your desires lies in embodying the reality of their fulfillment, not as a distant possibility, but as a present truth. When you live the end, you align your entire being, your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the outcome you seek, making it inevitable. To live the end means to step into the version of yourself who already has what you desire. It requires you to leave behind the mindset of lack or longing and embrace the certainty of possession. This is not mere pretense or self-deception, it is an act of creation. By embodying the state of your fulfilled desire, you activate the forces of the unseen to bring it into your experience. The world responds to who you are being, not just what you are wanting. Living the end begins in your imagination. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person who has already received what you long for. If it is wealth you desire, picture yourself living in abundance. Feel the ease and confidence that comes with financial freedom. If it is love you seek, Imagine yourself deeply connected with your ideal partner. Feel the joy, security, and affection in that relationship. Let these images fill your mind until they feel as real as the world around you. But visualization alone is not enough. To live the end, you must carry the state of fulfillment into your daily life. Walk, talk, and think as though your desire is already yours. If your miracle had already happened, how would you carry yourself? How would you speak? What choices would you make? Begin to adopt those behaviors now. This is not about pretending, it is about aligning your external actions with your internal vision. The challenge lies in resisting the temptation to look to your circumstances for validation. Your senses may tell you that nothing has changed, that your desired outcome is still out of reach. Yet this is precisely the moment to double down on your faith. The physical world is a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs, not a measure of what is to come. By acting as though your miracle has already occurred, you rewrite the script of your life. Living the end also transforms your emotional state. When you embody the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you replace anxiety, doubt, and frustration with peace, joy, and gratitude. These emotions are powerful signals to the universe, confirming your alignment with your desired reality. Gratitude, in particular, is a magnet for blessings. By giving thanks for your miracle as if it has already happened, you draw it closer to you. Some may argue that this approach feels unnatural or even delusional. But consider this: every breakthrough in history began with someone acting as though their vision was already real. Great inventors, artists, and leaders did not wait for evidence to support their dreams. They lived as though their success was inevitable. This is not wishful thinking, it is creative thinking. It is the willingness to see beyond the limitations of the present and claim the possibilities of the future. Living the end does not mean ignoring your current circumstances or shirking responsibilities. It means refusing to be defined by them. You acknowledge where you are, but you choose to operate from the reality of where you are going. This shift in perspective empowers you to take inspired action, moving confidently toward your goals with the assurance that they are already yours. Challenges are merely the echoes of your old thoughts. When you set out to create a new reality, these challenges may appear as obstacles, delays, or even outright contradictions to your desire. But understand this: they are not signs that your vision is unattainable. They are remnants of the beliefs and patterns you once held. To overcome them, you must persist. Persist in your vision, hold it steady in your mind, and remain unwavering in your faith until it materializes. Persistence is the anchor of creation. It is the ability to maintain focus on your desired outcome despite appearances to the contrary. When you encounter resistance, it is not a signal to give up, but an invitation to reaffirm your commitment. The external world is slow to catch up with the shifts you make internally. It is like a ship changing direction. It takes time for the new course to become evident. During this transitional phase, persistence becomes your most powerful ally. Doubt is the natural adversary of persistence. It creeps in when the evidence of your senses contradicts your vision. It whispers questions like, what if this doesn't work, or what if I'm wasting my time? But remember, doubt is a reflection of your old state of consciousness. It is the voice of the past attempting to pull you back into familiar patterns. To move forward, you must rise above it. Treat doubt not as an enemy to be feared, but as a shadow to be ignored. Focus instead on the light of your vision. Challenges often appear as tests of your resolve. When things seem to go wrong, or when progress feels stagnant, it is easy to succumb to frustration or despair. Yet these moments are pivotal. They are opportunities to prove the strength of your belief. Can you continue to hold your vision in the face of opposition? Can you stay true to your desired state even when the outer world denies it? If you can, you will find that these challenges lose their power over you. To persist is to live in the reality of your vision, no matter what. It is to act, think, and feel as though your desired outcome is inevitable. This requires discipline and focus. You cannot allow fleeting circumstances to dictate your state of mind. Instead, you must govern your thoughts with intention, choosing to dwell on what you want rather than what you fear. This mental discipline is not easy, but it is essential. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Persistence also involves repetition. Return to your vision daily, nurturing it like a seed planted in fertile soil. Visualize your desired outcome with clarity and emotion. Feel the joy, gratitude, and satisfaction of already having it. The more you do this, the more real your vision becomes to you, and the less influence external circumstances will have. Over time, this repeated focus reprograms your subconscious mind, aligning it with your new reality. You can understand that the outer world is malleable. It may seem solid and unchanging, but it is constantly reshaped by the energy and focus you bring to it. Persistence is the force that bends reality to match your vision. It is the unyielding determination to hold on to what you know is true within, regardless of what appears to be true without. This steadfastness sends a powerful signal to the universe, declaring your readiness to receive. Do not measure your progress by what you see. Measure it by how unwaveringly you can hold your vision. Trust that every challenge, delay, or setback is simply part of the process, not the end of the story. Even when things seem to fall apart, they are often falling into place in ways you cannot yet perceive. Persistence allows you to remain steady through these periods of uncertainty, knowing that the outcome is already yours. The key to persistence is faith in your vision, faith in the process, and faith in yourself. Cultivate this faith through gratitude, affirmations, and constant reminders of your inherent creative power. Surround yourself with supportive influences that uplift and inspire you. Let every small sign of progress, no matter how minor, fuel your confidence. Each step forward, no matter how incremental, is evidence that your vision is coming to life. Persistence is about embodying the truth of your desired reality until it becomes undeniable. It is the refusal to be swayed by temporary appearances or fleeting doubts. Challenges are merely the echoes of what once was, fading as your new reality takes form. By persisting in your vision, you affirm your role as the creator of your life, and you ensure that what you desire will come to pass. Hold steady and trust the process. Your persistence will prevail, and your vision will materialize. Emotions are the driving force behind creation, the fuel that propels your desires into reality. To bring your miracle closer, you must harness the power of gratitude and joy. Feel these emotions not as a response to what you already have, but as if your miracle has already arrived. In doing so, you align your inner state with the reality you wish to create, generating a momentum that hastens its manifestation. Gratitude is a magnetic force. It is the acknowledgement of abundance, the affirmation that you already possess all you need. When you feel gratitude as though your miracle is here, you shift your focus from lack to fulfillment. This shift is not merely psychological, it is energetic. Gratitude sends a signal to the universe that you are in harmony with your desired outcome. It creates a resonance between your inner state and the external reality you seek, drawing it closer to you like a magnet. To cultivate this feeling, begin by imagining your miracle vividly. See it in your mind's eye as though it is already yours. Picture every detail with clarity. If it is a new home, walk through its rooms in your imagination. If it is love, feel the warmth of connection. If it is financial freedom, experience the ease and security it brings. Then allow gratitude to rise within you. Give thanks not for what you hope to receive, but for what you already have in this imagined reality. Feel the gratitude so deeply that it becomes indistinguishable from reality itself. Joy is the natural companion of gratitude. While gratitude acknowledges the fulfillment of your desires, joy celebrates it. Joy is a high-frequency emotion, a signal of alignment with the life you want to live. By embodying joy, you accelerate the momentum of your creation. Think of joy as the spark that ignites the engine of your dreams, propelling them into your experience. The beauty of joy and gratitude is that they do not require external validation. They are states you can choose to embody at any moment, independent of your circumstances. This independence is key because waiting for your miracle to feel grateful or joyful places you in a state of lack. Instead, by feeling these emotions now, you bring your inner state into harmony with the end result, collapsing the gap between desire and fulfillment. The momentum created by emotions is not linear, it is exponential. Each moment spent in gratitude and joy amplifies your alignment with your desired reality. This is why consistent emotional practice is so powerful. Make it a daily ritual to immerse yourself in these feelings. Start your day with gratitude, listing everything you are thankful for as if your miracle has already come. Visualize your ideal reality and let joy fill your heart as you imagine living it. It is important to note that gratitude and joy are not just passive feelings, they are active forces. They inspire thoughts, actions, and decisions that align with your desired reality. When you feel deeply grateful and joyful, you naturally act from a place of abundance and confidence. You make choices that reflect the version of yourself who already has what you desire. These actions further reinforce the momentum, creating a cycle of positive energy that draws your miracle closer. Challenges may arise to test your emotional state, moments where doubt or frustration threaten to take hold. In these times, remember that emotions are a choice. You are not a passive observer of your feelings, but their creator. When negative emotions surface, acknowledge them without judgment and gently redirect your focus. Return to your vision, immerse yourself in the feeling of its fulfillment, and let gratitude and joy flow once more. Gratitude and joy are not just tools for manifestation, they are transformative states of being. As you practice them, you will notice changes not only in your external circumstances, but in yourself. You will become more resilient, more optimistic, and more connected to the infinite possibilities of life. This transformation is a miracle in its own right, a testament to the power of emotions to shape reality. Emotions are the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the inner and the outer. By feeling gratitude and joy as though your miracle is here, you create a momentum that carries you effortlessly toward its realization. You become a living expression of your desired reality, radiating the energy of fulfillment. And as you do, your miracle will come not as a distant possibility, but as an inevitable result of the energy you have embodied. There is a sacred rhythm to the universe, an unseen harmony orchestrated by a higher power that governs the unfolding of all things. Your miracle, too, is subject to this divine timing. It is not a question of if it will happen, but when. Trust that the higher power knows precisely when the moment is right, and when your miracle does arrive, it will be perfect in every way. Divine timing is not something we can manipulate or rush. It operates beyond the constraints of human understanding, aligning circumstances, people, and events in ways that often remain hidden until the moment of revelation. When you feel a deep longing for your miracle, it is natural to want it immediately. But understand that impatience stems from a lack of trust, a belief that you must control every detail to ensure the outcome. In truth, the higher power works in ways far more intricate and profound than we could ever comprehend. When you place your trust in divine timing, you release the burden of anxiety and control. You recognize that there is a wisdom greater than your own at work, one that sees the broader picture of your life. What may seem like a delay or an obstacle from your perspective is often a vital piece of the puzzle being arranged for your highest good. Every moment of waiting, every twist and turn serves a purpose in preparing you to receive your miracle in its fullness. Trusting divine timing does not mean passively waiting without action. It means aligning yourself with the flow of life, doing what you can with faith and surrendering the rest. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You water it, give it sunlight, and tend to it, but you cannot force it to sprout. The seed will germinate and grow when the conditions are just right. Similarly, your role is to nurture your vision and prepare yourself to receive your miracle, trusting that it will bloom in its season. One of the greatest challenges in trusting divine timing is the urge to compare your journey with others. You may see someone else achieving what you desire and wonder why it has not yet happened for you. But comparison is a distraction, a denial of your unique path. The higher power does not operate on a schedule of fairness or competition, but on a schedule of perfection. Trust that what is meant for you will never miss you, and what is not meant for you will never stay. Patience is the hallmark of trust in divine timing. Patience is not passive waiting, but active faith, a confident knowing that what you seek is already on its way. It is the ability to remain at peace, even in the face of uncertainty, to find joy in the present moment while anticipating the fulfillment of your desires. Patience allows you to move through life with grace, unshaken by delays or setbacks. To cultivate trust in divine timing, deepen your connection with the higher power. Through prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection, seek reassurance that all is unfolding as it should. Listen for the subtle guidance that often comes in moments of stillness. Sometimes divine timing requires you to pause, to grow, or to release something that no longer serves you. These moments of preparation are not detours but essential steps on the path to your miracle. Gratitude is another key to trusting divine timing. When you express gratitude for the journey, even before the destination is reached, you affirm your faith in the process. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reminding you of all the blessings already present in your life. It aligns you with the energy of receiving, opening the door for your miracle to arrive at the perfect moment. That divine timing is always precise. It does not adhere to human expectations or deadlines, but it is never late. When your miracle unfolds, you will see how every moment of waiting, every challenge, and every seeming delay was necessary to bring you to that point. You will understand that the higher power's timing is not just right, it is flawless. As you wait for your miracle, hold on to this truth: the universe is conspiring in your favor. Even when you cannot see it, forces are moving to align your life with your highest good. Trust the process, trust the journey, and most importantly, trust the higher power. Your miracle is on its way, and when it arrives, it will be more beautiful and perfect than you ever imagined. Trust in the unseen, act as though it is done, and hold steadfast to the belief that everything is unfolding in your favor. As you nurture this understanding, you will witness miracles not just as isolated events, but as a natural rhythm of your existence. Ladies and gentlemen, something extraordinary is on its way to you. It may not look like it now, perhaps your world seems quiet or even chaotic. Yet within the unseen fabric of life, your blessing is being woven. Your task is not to worry, not to chase, not to beg. It is to prepare yourself as if you already hold the gift in your hands. This is the secret: the blessing is never late. It arrives when you are aligned with it, not a moment before or after. Feel the joy of having it now. See yourself smiling, embracing the fulfillment of your heart's desire. Don't allow doubt to creep in, for doubt is the only barrier. Faith, unwavering and serene, is the key that unlocks the treasure chest of life. You may wonder, how will it happen? But hear this truth: the how is not your concern. Your role is to declare it done, to believe it deeply, and to step forward with confidence. In the quiet hours of your day, turn inward. Use the power of your imagination. See the moment when you receive the blessing, feel the emotions, hear the words, taste the victory. That moment you create within is the seed, and the harvest is certain. As you go about your days, live with gratitude. Act as though you are already in possession of the very thing you desire. Gratitude accelerates the process. It is the language of abundance. The more you give thanks, the more you open the door for blessings to flow into your life. Unexpected blessings often come disguised. What seems like delay or disappointment might be the very path leading to your miracle. Trust in the divine process, for it knows no failure. Prepare yourself, beloved, because your unexpected blessing is not just coming, it is here. It is waiting for you to align, to believe, and to receive. In the quiet recesses of your mind lies the secret to transforming your life. The thoughts you entertain, the emotions you nurture, and the beliefs you hold all weave the fabric of your reality. It is not the outer world that shapes you, it is your inner state of being that dictates the experiences you encounter. What you dwell upon within your mind will inevitably manifest outwardly, for your consciousness acts as the seed from which all creation springs. Consider this: everything you experience today was first a thought, a feeling, or an assumption within you. This is the unchanging law of life. The external world, as solid and real as it may seem, is merely a reflection, a mirror of the state you consistently occupy within yourself. When you allow worry, fear, or lack to dominate your thoughts, you are unknowingly sowing seeds of those very experiences into the fertile soil of your reality. Conversely, when you choose to dwell in a state of gratitude, abundance, and joy, you are cultivating a life rich in blessings and fulfillment. Assuming the feeling of your blessing as if it has already arrived is not just wishful thinking, it is an act of profound creation. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. To your subconscious, the feelings you evoke are the reality. By embodying the emotions and sensations of already having what you desire, you impress this truth upon your deeper mind, setting in motion the unseen forces of manifestation. To live in the state of already having your blessing requires deliberate practice. Begin by clarifying your desire. Be specific, not necessarily about the details, but about the essence of what you wish to experience. Is it peace, abundance, love, or success? Once you know this, shift your focus inward. Imagine the scenario in which your desire is fulfilled. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions it evokes: joy, relief, gratitude, or excitement. Allow those emotions to fill every corner of your being. For example, if you desire financial freedom, imagine the sensation of holding an abundance of money in your hands or seeing your bank account overflowing. Feel the relief of no longer worrying about bills. Let the freedom of choice and the security of wealth wash over you. As you do this, your body responds as though it is already true. Your heart rate may change, your breathing may deepen, and a smile may naturally appear. This is the state of being in alignment with your desire. Maintaining this state requires consistency. It is not enough to feel it once and then revert to old patterns of lack or doubt. Each day, revisit the feeling. Strengthen it, amplify it, and make it a natural part of your inner world. This is not pretending, it is rehearsing your future reality. Just as an actor becomes the role they play, you too can embody the state of your desired life until it becomes your identity. Doubt and fear will inevitably arise. The mind, conditioned by years of external influences and limiting beliefs, may resist this new way of thinking. It may whisper questions like, "What if it doesn't happen?" Or, "How can this be true?" When these thoughts appear, do not fight them. Acknowledge them as remnants of your old self. Then gently redirect your focus to the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Remind yourself that your inner state, not external circumstances, is the true cause of your experience. This practice requires faith, not blind faith in some external power, but faith in the law that governs creation. Trust that the feelings you consistently embody will crystallize into your reality, just as surely as seeds planted in fertile soil grow into plants. You do not need to know how it will happen. Your role is simply to hold the state of being. The how is orchestrated by forces far greater than your conscious mind can comprehend. Over time, you will notice subtle shifts. Perhaps opportunities will arise, synchronicities will occur, or new ideas will come to you. These are the first fruits of your inner work. Embrace them with gratitude, for they are evidence that your blessing is taking form. Stay committed to your inner state, even if the outer world does not immediately reflect your desire. The process of manifestation is often gradual, but it is unfailing. As you continue to assume the feeling of your blessing, you will discover a profound truth: the joy and fulfillment you seek are not dependent on the external manifestation. They are already within you. By living in this state, you are not only attracting your desire, but also transforming your present moment into one of richness and meaning. Your state of being is the key to creating a life of limitless possibilities. Assume the feeling of your blessing now, and let your inner world overflow with the reality you wish to experience. Trust in the process, for the world you desire is already yours. It simply waits for you to align with it. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to get caught up in thoughts of the future. You may find yourself searching for signs, clues, or validations that your desires are on their way. The longing for reassurance can consume your thoughts, drawing your focus away from the most powerful resource you have, the present moment. What many fail to realize is that everything you need, everything you seek, is already here, planted in the fertile soil of now. Your blessing, the one you yearn for, is not a distant dream. It exists within this very moment, waiting to unfold. The present moment is not just a fleeting point in time, it is the eternal now where all creation happens. The future, as you perceive it, is nothing more than an extension of this moment. It is shaped by the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you hold right now. When you constantly look ahead, searching for signs or questioning the timing of your blessing, you shift your energy away from the creative power of the now. In doing so, you delay the very manifestation you desire. Imagine a seed planted in the earth. The seed contains within it the potential for a beautiful plant or a towering tree. It does not need to seek assurance from the future about its growth. It simply exists in the present, nourished by the soil, water, and sunlight. Your desires are much the same. They are seeds planted within your consciousness. The conditions for their growth are not found in the distant future, but in your ability to nurture them in this moment with faith, trust, and unwavering belief. When you stop looking to the future for signs, you free yourself from the bondage of doubt and impatience. You no longer need to question whether your blessing will come or when it will arrive. Instead, you settle into the knowing that it is already unfolding. This knowing transforms your perspective. You begin to see that life is not happening to you, but through you. Your thoughts and feelings in this moment are the forces shaping the reality you will experience. To embrace the power of the present moment, start by recognizing that everything you need to feel fulfilled already exists within you. You do not need external validation to confirm the truth of your blessing. It is enough to feel it, to trust it, and to live as though it is already yours. This does not mean you ignore the world around you or dismiss the practical steps required to achieve your goals. Rather, it means you align your inner state with the reality you wish to create, knowing that the outer world will eventually reflect it. Your blessing is not waiting for the right time to appear. Time is an illusion, a construct of the mind. The only time that truly exists is now. By dwelling in the present moment, you align yourself with the frequency of your desire. You shift from a state of lack, where you are waiting and yearning, to a state of abundance, where you are grateful and assured. This shift is the key to manifestation. It is the difference between hoping for a blessing and knowing it is already yours. When you focus on the now, you also open yourself to the subtle signs and opportunities that the universe presents. These may not always look like the grand gestures or unmistakable signals you expect. Sometimes they are quiet nudges, fleeting ideas, or seemingly insignificant coincidences. When your attention is rooted in the present, you are more attuned to these moments. You recognize them for what they are, the universe guiding you toward your blessing. Patience becomes effortless when you live in the present. You understand that there is no need to rush or force outcomes. Just as a farmer does not dig up a seed to check its progress, you do not need to scrutinize or doubt the process of your manifestation. You trust that the forces at work are bringing your desire to fruition in perfect timing. Your role is simply to maintain the inner state of alignment, to continue nurturing your blessing with faith and gratitude. Let go of the habit of waiting for your life to improve in the future. The idea that happiness, fulfillment, or success is always somewhere ahead of you creates a perpetual sense of lack. Instead, find joy in the realization that your blessing is already here in essence. It may not yet be visible in its entirety, but its presence is undeniable. Feel it, celebrate it, and act as though it is already a part of your reality. This moment is all you have, and it is all you need. Within it lies infinite potential, the power to create, and the assurance of your blessing's arrival. By anchoring yourself in the present, you become a co-creator with the divine, shaping your life not through force or impatience, but through trust and alignment. Your blessing is not something you need to chase, it is something you receive when you embody its reality in the now. Faith is the unseen force that shapes and brings life to all that we desire. It is the quiet, unwavering assurance that what you seek is not only possible but already yours. Yet for many, faith is often weakened by doubt, uncertainty, and the fear of disappointment. This internal conflict creates resistance, preventing the realization of one's deepest aspirations. True faith, however, requires a steadfast belief in the unseen, as though the outcome you desire is already a reality. It is the invisible bridge between the intangible realm of thought and the tangible world of experience. To hold faith without doubt is to align yourself with the certainty of creation. Imagine for a moment that the life you dream of is not something to be attained, but something already granted. Picture your desire as a finished masterpiece, stored safely in the vault of the unseen, waiting to be revealed at the perfect moment. When you hold this perspective, you step into a state of calm assurance. You no longer question when or how your desires will manifest, because you trust that the process is already in motion. Faith does not rely on external evidence. It thrives in the absence of proof. To demand signs or visible progress is to reveal a lack of belief in the power of the unseen. Consider the farmer who plants a seed in the ground. He does not dig it up each day to check its progress, nor does he doubt its ability to grow. He simply waters it, nurtures it, and trusts that in time it will sprout and flourish. Faith operates in the same way. It requires you to act and think as though your desire is already accomplished, even when no visible signs suggest it. Doubt, on the other hand, is the enemy of faith. It is the voice that whispers, "What if it doesn't happen?" or "Maybe this is too good to be true." When you entertain these thoughts, you send conflicting signals to the universe, disrupting the creative process. Doubt introduces hesitation where there should be conviction, delay where there should be flow. To overcome doubt, you must recognize it for what it is: a fleeting thought, born from past conditioning and fear. It holds no power unless you choose to give it attention. The key to cultivating unwavering faith is to live as though your desire is already fulfilled. Begin by immersing yourself in the feeling of having what you want. Close your eyes and imagine the scene of your fulfilled desire in vivid detail. See yourself living the life you envision. Hear the sounds, feel the textures, and experience the emotions as though they are happening now. This practice is not mere daydreaming, it is an act of creation. It impresses the image of your desired reality upon your subconscious mind, which then sets into motion the events necessary to bring it into being. Faith also requires persistence. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in, when circumstances seem to contradict your belief. In these moments, remind yourself of the power of faith. Recall times in your life when things worked out unexpectedly, when what seemed impossible suddenly became possible. These memories serve as proof that faith, when held steadfastly, has the power to transcend limitations and bring the unseen into the visible. It is important to understand that faith is not passive. It does not mean sitting idly by waiting for your desires to materialize. Instead, faith inspires action. It moves you to take steps, no matter how small, that align with the reality you are creating. These actions are not driven by fear or desperation, but by confidence and anticipation. When you act from a place of faith, you are saying to the universe, "I trust that this is already mine, and I am ready to receive it." Faith also teaches patience. Just as the seed takes time to grow, your desires may not manifest. This does not mean they are not on their way. Trust that the timing is always perfect, even when it does not align with your expectations. Impatience is often rooted in doubt, while patience is a natural byproduct of faith. When you hold faith without doubt, you find peace in the waiting, knowing that the outcome is certain. Faith is a choice. It is a decision to believe in the power of the unseen, to trust in the process, and to act as though your desires are already a part of your life. It is a bridge connecting the world of imagination and thought to the physical world of experience. By holding steadfast belief in the unseen, you open yourself to limitless possibilities. You become a co-creator with the divine, shaping your reality with intention and certainty. The journey from desire to fulfillment begins and ends with faith. It is the foundation upon which all manifestations are built. When you hold faith without doubt, you step into a realm of infinite potential, where the impossible becomes possible, and the unseen becomes visible. Let your faith be unshakable, and watch as your life transforms in ways beyond your wildest dreams. Imagination is the starting point of every creation. It is the invisible blueprint from which your reality is constructed, the foundation upon which all experiences rest. Everything you see, touch, and encounter in the external world was first conceived in the inner realm of thought. It is through imagination that the seeds of creation are planted, nurtured, and eventually brought to life. This is the great truth of existence. What you vividly imagine and feel within your heart shapes your experiences. To harness this truth is to become the architect of your destiny. When you imagine your blessing, you are not engaging in idle fantasy. You are participating in the process of creation. Each thought, each vision, each emotion you cultivate within your mind serves as an instruction to the unseen forces that shape reality. These forces do not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. They respond solely to the energy you project. Therefore, the key to manifesting your desires lies in your ability to imagine with clarity, to feel your blessing as though it has already arrived, and to embody a state of gratitude for its presence. Imagination is more than visualization, it is a full body experience. To truly create, you must engage all your senses. See your desired reality in vivid detail. Hear the sounds that accompany it. Feel the textures, the warmth, the weight of it. Smell the fragrances and taste the sweetness of your fulfilled desire. Most importantly, connect with the emotions it evokes. How would you feel if your blessing were already here? Would you feel joy, relief, excitement, or peace? Whatever the emotion, allow it to fill your heart and overflow into every cell of your being. This emotional connection is the magnetic force that draws your imagined reality into existence. Gratitude amplifies this process. When you express gratitude for your blessing as though it is already yours, you affirm its reality. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from longing to fulfillment. It is a declaration of faith, a statement that you trust in the unseen and believe in the certainty of your creation. Imagine yourself waking up each day and thanking the universe for the blessing you have envisioned. Feel the warmth of gratitude washing over you, reinforcing the knowing that what you desire is not on its way but already here in essence. Clarity is another essential element of imagination. To create effectively, you must be precise about what you want. Vague or scattered thoughts produce vague or scattered results. Take the time to define your blessing with detail and specificity. What does it look like? How does it feel? How does it enhance your life and the lives of others? When your imagination is clear, it acts as a focused laser beam, directing the energy of creation toward a singular goal. Doubt, fear, and conflicting thoughts can undermine the power of your imagination. When you allow these negative emotions to take root, they cloud your vision and disrupt the creative process. To counteract this, you must guard your thoughts and remain steadfast in your vision. Whenever doubt arises, return to the image of your blessing. Reaffirm your belief in its reality. Remember that your imagination is the blueprint and that the unseen forces of creation are always at work, aligning circumstances and events to bring your vision to life. The process of imagining your blessing also requires consistency. It is not enough to envision your desire once and then forget about it. Just as a blueprint must be referenced repeatedly during construction, your imagined reality must be revisited and reinforced daily. Dedicate time each day to immerse yourself in the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Treat this practice as a sacred ritual, a moment to connect with the divine power within you. The more consistently you align with your vision, the more rapidly it will manifest. Imagination transcends the limits of the physical world. It allows you to bypass the constraints of your current circumstances and step into the realm of infinite possibilities. Through imagination, you can rewrite your story, reshape your identity, and transform your life. The external world is merely a reflection of your inner state. When you change the blueprint within your mind, the world around you must change to match it. Many of the world's greatest achievements began as a single act of imagination. From towering skyscrapers to groundbreaking inventions, from personal triumphs to profound moments of love and connection, all were first conceived in the minds of those who dared to dream. You possess the same creative power. The only limits are those you impose upon yourself. Trust in the process. Know that what you vividly imagine and consistently feel within your heart must come to pass. The universe is your collaborator, responding to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions with perfect precision. By imagining your blessing with clarity and gratitude, you set the wheels of creation in motion. Hold your vision firmly, nurture it with love, and allow it to unfold in its perfect time and way. Your imagination is the blueprint of creation. Use it wisely and watch as the life you envision becomes the life you live. Detaching from the how is one of the most liberating and powerful steps in manifesting your desires. It requires you to let go of the need to control every detail and trust in the unseen forces that orchestrate all creation. Often we cling tightly to the specifics of how our blessings should arrive, attempting to micromanage the universe. This approach not only creates resistance but also limits the infinite possibilities available to us. True faith lies in releasing this control and allowing the divine timing and methods to unfold naturally. When you desire something deeply, it is natural to imagine pathways through which it might come to you. However, this focus on the how can become a trap. By trying to dictate the exact circumstances, people, or processes that must occur, you narrow the field of possibility. The universe operates with a wisdom far greater than our human understanding. It knows the best, quickest, and most harmonious way to bring your blessing forth. By clinging to specific expectations, you may unintentionally block more efficient or miraculous routes from manifesting. Detachment from the how does not mean you abandon your desire or stop taking inspired action. Rather, it means you release the anxiety, fear, and doubt that arise from trying to control outcomes. It is about trusting that your intention has been received and that the forces of creation are already at work on your behalf. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. You do not dig it up daily to check its progress or try to force it to grow. Instead, you water it, ensure it has sunlight, and trust that it will sprout when the time is right. The same principle applies to your desires. Trusting the process requires a shift in focus. Instead of fixating on the mechanics of how your blessing will arrive, place your attention on the feeling of having already received it. This emotional alignment is what draws your desire to you. When you are preoccupied with the how, your energy becomes scattered and tense. But when you shift to a state of trust and gratitude, you create an open and receptive energy that allows blessings to flow effortlessly into your life. Releasing the need to control how does not mean adopting a passive attitude. On the contrary, it frees you to act from a place of inspiration rather than fear. When you trust that your blessing is already on its way, you become attuned to subtle nudges and signs that guide you toward the next step. These moments of inspiration are the universe's way of aligning you with your desire. They often come unexpectedly, in ways you might not have imagined. By remaining open and flexible, you allow these opportunities to unfold naturally. Detachment also requires patience and faith in divine timing. Often we become impatient when we do not see immediate results, questioning whether our desires will ever materialize. This impatience stems from a lack of trust and a focus on external evidence rather than internal certainty. Remember that the universe works in its own perfect timing, orchestrating countless factors behind the scenes. What may seem like a delay is often a necessary part of the process, ensuring that everything aligns in the most beneficial way for you. To cultivate detachment, practice surrender. Surrender is not a sign of weakness, but an act of profound strength and wisdom. It is the acknowledgement that you are co-creating with forces far greater than yourself. Surrender does not mean giving up on your desire, it means releasing your grip on the outcome and trusting in the process. It is saying to the universe, I trust you to bring this to me in the best possible way. Detachment also involves releasing fear and doubt. Fear arises when we focus on potential obstacles or imagine worst-case scenarios. Doubt creeps in when we question whether our desires are even possible. Both emotions create resistance and signal to the universe that we do not fully believe in our power to create. To counteract these feelings, remind yourself of times when things worked out unexpectedly or beyond your wildest dreams. These moments are evidence of the unseen forces working on your behalf. Another way to detach from the how is to practice mindfulness and presence. When you are fully immersed in the present moment, you are not consumed by thoughts of the future or the mechanics of manifestation. Instead, you are free to enjoy the journey and appreciate the abundance that already surrounds you. Gratitude for the present opens the door for even greater blessings to flow into your life. Detaching from the how is an act of liberation. It frees you from the mental and emotional burden of control, allowing you to experience greater peace, joy, and alignment. It affirms your trust in the process and your belief in the infinite intelligence of the universe. When you release the need to control how your blessing will come, you open yourself to miracles. You step into a state of flow where things unfold effortlessly, often in ways that exceed your expectations. Trust in the unseen. Know that your blessing is already on its way. Let go of the how and embrace the magic of allowing. The universe is your partner, working tirelessly to bring your desires to fruition in the most perfect and divine way. Gratitude is one of the most transformative forces in existence, capable of shifting your energy, your perspective, and ultimately your reality. It is not merely an emotional response to what has already been received, it is a deliberate state of being that aligns you with the frequency of abundance. By expressing gratitude now, even before there is tangible evidence of your desires manifesting, you activate the process of creation. Gratitude is a powerful signal to the universe that you are open, receptive, and ready to receive more of life's blessings. When you express gratitude for what is already unfolding, you acknowledge the unseen forces at work. Manifestation is not an instantaneous process. In most cases, it involves unseen alignments, divine timing, and the orchestration of events. By giving thanks ahead of time, you affirm your faith in this process. You shift your focus from lack or longing to fulfillment and joy. This shift in perspective is crucial because it changes your vibrational state. The energy you emit becomes one of abundance and satisfaction, which naturally attracts more of the same into your life. Gratitude is more than a thought, it is an emotional experience that connects you to the essence of your desire. Imagine for a moment the feeling of receiving what you deeply wish for. How would it make you feel? Excited, peaceful, overjoyed, or relieved? Now realize that you can access those feelings right now without waiting for the external evidence. By immersing yourself in the emotional state of gratitude, you align with the very frequency of what you wish to manifest. The beauty of gratitude is that it dissolves resistance. When you are focused on what is missing or how far you still have to go, you create tension and block the flow of abundance. Gratitude, on the other hand, opens the floodgates. It is an act of surrender and trust, a declaration that you believe in the goodness of life and its ability to deliver your desires. It says to the universe, I trust you. I know that all is well and I am thankful for what is unfolding. Practicing gratitude does not require waiting for grand, life-changing events. It begins with the small, everyday moments. Look around you right now. What can you appreciate? The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the comfort of a favorite chair, the sound of laughter, or the opportunity to dream and create. These seemingly ordinary blessings are proof of life's generosity, and by recognizing them, you train your mind to focus on abundance. This habit of gratitude then extends to your larger desires, creating a powerful momentum that accelerates their manifestation. When you give thanks in advance for what you wish to receive, you create a vibrational match with your desires. Gratitude bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. For instance, if you are seeking financial abundance, begin by appreciating the money you already have, no matter how small. Feel gratitude for the roof over your head, the food on your table, and the opportunities before you. As you cultivate this gratitude, you shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of wealth and prosperity, which naturally attracts more resources into your life. Gratitude also strengthens your connection with the present moment. Often we become so fixated on the future that we overlook the richness of the now. But the present is where all creation begins. By being fully present and thankful for what is, you create a fertile ground for your desires to take root. Gratitude anchors you in the here and now, reminding you that everything you need is already within your reach. Gratitude is a multiplier. The more you express it, the more you find to be grateful for. This is because gratitude changes your perception. It shifts your focus from problems to solutions, from obstacles to opportunities, and from lack to abundance. As you practice gratitude, you begin to see life through a lens of possibility and wonder. This positive outlook not only uplifts your spirit, but also influences your actions and decisions, guiding you toward paths that align with your highest good. To incorporate gratitude into your manifestation practice, start each day by giving thanks for the blessings in your life. Write them down or speak them aloud. Include both what you have already received and what you are in the process of creating. For example, I am so thankful for the opportunities flowing into my life. I am grateful for the abundance that is already mine and for the ways it continues to grow. As you do this, immerse yourself in the emotions of gratitude. Let it be more than words. Feel the joy, the peace, and the excitement of knowing that your desires are already on their way. Carry this feeling with you throughout the day and return to it whenever doubts or fears arise. Gratitude is your anchor, a constant reminder that you are supported, loved, and abundant. Gratitude is not just a practice, it is a way of being. It transforms how you see the world and how the world responds to you. By giving thanks for what is already unfolding, you step into a state of flow where blessings can arrive with ease. Trust in this process. Know that your gratitude is a powerful force, aligning you with the frequency of abundance and opening the doors to a life filled with joy, prosperity, and fulfillment. In conclusion, the power to manifest your desires lies within you. By embracing the principles of belief, imagination, gratitude, detachment, and faith, you align yourself with the infinite possibilities of creation. Each step reminds you that your state of being, your trust in the unseen, and your unwavering focus on abundance shape the reality you experience. Trust the process, let go of resistance, and allow the unseen forces to guide your blessings into your life with divine precision. Your blessings are not far away, they are already unfolding in perfect timing. By living in a state of gratitude, imagining the fulfillment of your desires, and releasing the need to control the how, you create an energy of alignment and flow. Faith, without doubt, bridges the gap between what is invisible and what becomes visible, transforming your dreams into tangible reality. Thank you for allowing these words to inspire and guide you. May they empower you to trust in the unseen, embrace the present, and know that your blessings are already yours. My friends, you hold within you the key to transforming the impossible into the inevitable. What you seek is not far away, it is within you, waiting for your recognition. Tonight, as you stand on the threshold of sleep, I invite you to repeat these words 10 times with unwavering faith. Do not merely recite them, feel them. Feel the reality of those words as though they were already true. Imagine yourself stepping into the life you desire. Hear the sounds, see the colors, and breathe in the air of your fulfilled dreams. As you repeat these words, you are speaking directly to your subconscious mind. This sacred gateway between the seen and unseen will take your words and mold reality around them. Let no doubt, no fear enter your heart during this practice. The world may tell you it is impossible, but the world is a reflection of your inner state. Change the state within, and the world must follow. Repeat this affirmation 10 times with conviction. Do not look for evidence outside you. Instead, know that the evidence is forming even now. Feel gratitude as though you've already received what you seek. Gratitude is the sign that you trust the process. It is the mark of a heart that knows its power. Persist in this practice each evening. Let it be the last thought you take into sleep. Let it sink deeply into your being. For what you plant in your subconscious mind will sprout and grow, no matter how impossible it seems. All things are possible to the one who believes. So tonight, take up this simple practice. Repetition is one of the most profound tools available to shape your reality. It is the silent architect of belief, a force that molds your subconscious mind and transforms the seemingly impossible into the inevitable. When you repeat a thought, a word, or an affirmation consistently, you begin to embed it deeply within your consciousness. What you repeat, you believe, and what you believe, you manifest into your life. This is not merely a poetic notion, but a fundamental law of how the mind works. Every belief you currently hold, whether empowering or limiting, was born out of repetition. As children, we absorb the words and ideas presented to us by those around us, our parents, teachers, and society. These words, repeated over time, became truths within us, shaping the way we see the world and ourselves. If you were told repeatedly that you were capable and loved, you likely grew up with confidence and self-worth. Conversely, if you were exposed to negative words or limiting ideas, those too may have taken root. This demonstrates the power of repetition in forming our inner dialogue, which in turn creates the framework for how we experience reality. Repetition works because the subconscious mind, which governs the majority of our thoughts and behaviors, learns through consistency. Unlike the conscious mind, which analyzes and questions, the subconscious simply accepts repeated input as truth. It does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply follows the blueprint it is given. This is why consistent repetition of affirmations, visualizations, or thoughts is so powerful. It bypasses the conscious mind's skepticism and impresses the desired reality onto the subconscious, which then begins to manifest it in your outer world. To harness this power, one must first understand that repetition is not a passive process. It is not enough to simply utter words mindlessly. True repetition involves engaging the heart and mind fully. When you repeat an affirmation, for instance, you must feel its truth. If you are affirming abundance, you must feel the joy, relief, and gratitude of already living in abundance. The emotion you attach to the repeated words amplifies their impact, embedding them even deeper into your subconscious mind. It is the fusion of consistent repetition and heartfelt emotion that makes this practice transformative. This process also requires faith and persistence. The subconscious mind does not operate on a strict timeline. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the repeated thoughts and affirmations you plant in your subconscious need time to take root and bear fruit. During this period, it is essential to persist, even when external circumstances appear unchanged. Many people give up too soon, dismissing the power of repetition because they do not see immediate results. But understand this: the outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner world. The changes you make within through repetition will inevitably be mirrored in your reality if you remain steadfast. One of the greatest barriers to the power of repetition is doubt. Doubt is the voice of the conscious mind, questioning whether what you are repeating is true or possible. This is why it is crucial to immerse yourself fully in the process. Do not allow the conscious mind to interrupt or undermine your efforts. Treat your affirmations and repeated thoughts as sacred, as unassailable truths. Over time, as you persist, doubt will dissolve, replaced by an unshakable belief in the reality you are creating. Repetition also has the power to dismantle limiting beliefs. For every negative thought or belief you have, there is a corresponding positive affirmation that can overwrite it. If you have long believed that success is out of reach, begin to repeat affirmations that declare success as your birthright. If you have struggled with feelings of unworthiness, affirm your inherent value and lovability. At first, these affirmations may feel foreign or even false. This is natural, as the mind resists change. But with consistent repetition, these new affirmations will begin to feel familiar, then believable, and finally they will become your truth. One of the most effective times to engage in repetition is before sleep. In the moments before you drift into slumber, the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious becomes more receptive. This is a powerful window to repeat affirmations or visualize your desired reality. What you impress upon your mind during this time will continue to play like a record in your subconscious throughout the night, deepening its impact. Repetition is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. It is the tool through which you can rewrite the script of your life. Whether you seek to manifest love, success, health, or inner peace, the consistent repetition of affirmations aligned with your desires will pave the way. It bends the impossible to your will, not through force, but through unwavering faith and persistence. Every great achievement in history was first a thought, repeated often enough to become a belief, and then acted upon until it became reality. You have the same power within you. Start today. Choose the words, thoughts, and ideas you wish to define your life, and repeat them consistently. Through repetition, you will anchor new beliefs, and through these beliefs, you will create a new reality, one where the impossible is not only possible but already yours. Imagination is the foundation upon which all creation rests. It is the limitless realm where ideas are born, dreams take shape, and the impossible begins its journey toward becoming possible. When you engage your imagination with purpose and intention, you harness the most powerful tool available for manifesting your desires. Everything that exists in the physical world was first conceived in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it. Every breakthrough, every invention, every masterpiece began as a vision held within the creative mind. Your imagination is not just a fleeting daydream or an idle escape from reality, it is the blueprint for your life. The subconscious mind, which governs the majority of your reality, cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It responds to the images and feelings you hold in your mind as though they are already true. This is why imagination is so transformative. When you visualize your desires with clarity and conviction, you plant the seeds of their fulfillment within your subconscious mind, which then begins to manifest them into your outer experience. The process of creation through imagination begins with clarity. You must know what you want in vivid detail. It is not enough to have a vague desire for happiness, success, or love. You must define what these things look and feel like to you. Close your eyes and picture your desired outcome as though it were happening right now. See yourself living the life you long for. Imagine the sights, sounds, and sensations that accompany it. If you desire wealth, visualize yourself surrounded by the symbols of abundance. If you desire love, imagine the warmth of connection and the joy of companionship. The clearer your mental image, the stronger the impression it makes on your subconscious mind. But imagination alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by feeling. Feeling is the energy that brings your vision to life. When you imagine your desires, immerse yourself in the emotions they evoke. Feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as though your desires are already fulfilled. This emotional connection is what makes your imagination magnetic. It draws your desires toward you with a force that is irresistible. Without feeling, your visualization is like a blueprint. Without builders, it remains an unfulfilled idea. But when you add emotion, you activate the creative power needed to bring it into reality. It is important to approach this process with faith and conviction. Many people dismiss their imagination as mere fantasy, failing to realize its true power. But those who understand the creative potential of the mind know that what they imagine today can become their reality tomorrow. Do not allow doubt to creep in. When you visualize your desires, do so with the absolute belief that they are possible. Even if the world tells you otherwise, hold fast to your vision. The outer world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. By imagining a new reality, you are setting the stage for a new reflection. Imagination is especially powerful when used consistently. Like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, you must return to your vision repeatedly, refining and reinforcing it. Make it a daily practice to spend time in quiet contemplation, visualizing your desires as vividly and emotionally as possible. The more you do this, the more deeply your vision will take root in your subconscious mind. Over time, you will begin to notice changes in your thoughts, feelings, and actions, all aligning with the reality you have imagined. These changes are the first signs that your vision is becoming real. Another key aspect of using imagination as a blueprint is to focus on the end result, not the means. Many people become fixated on how their desires will manifest, trying to control every step of the process. But this approach only limits the infinite possibilities available to you. Trust that your subconscious mind, in conjunction with the universal creative force, knows the best way to bring your vision to life. Your role is not to figure out the how, but to remain steadfast in your vision of the what, let go of the need to control, and instead surrender to the process, knowing that your imagined reality is already on its way to you. It is also important to approach imagination with a sense of playfulness and ease. The act of visualization should not feel like a chore or a rigid task. Instead, it should be a joyful and creative experience. When you engage your imagination with a sense of wonder and excitement, you tap into its limitless potential. This light-hearted approach also helps to quiet the doubts and fears of the conscious mind, allowing your vision to take root more easily. Imagination is the seed of all creation, but like any seed, it requires care and attention to grow. Water it with faith, nurture it with feeling, and protect it from the weeds of doubt and negativity. As you do, you will find that the impossible begins to take shape in your life. Your imagination is not a passive escape from reality, it is the active creation of reality. When you visualize and feel as though the impossible is already real, you invite it into your experience with an irresistible force. Trust in this process and watch as the blueprint of your imagination becomes the foundation of your life. Words, while powerful, are merely the starting point in the process of manifestation. They carry intention and direction, but without the depth of emotion, they remain hollow and ineffective. It is the feeling behind the words that brings them to life. Emotions are the catalyst that transforms a mere statement into a living reality. When you affirm something, it is not the words themselves that create change, but the truth you feel behind them. The emotions you generate are the fuel that propels your desires from thought to form. To manifest effectively, you must feel deeply. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. The seed alone does not grow unless it is nurtured with water, sunlight, and care. Similarly, your words are the seed, and your feelings are the nourishment that allows them to take root and flourish. Without feeling, affirmations are like seeds scattered on barren ground. There is potential, but nothing takes hold. When you connect your emotions to your words, you give them life and power, creating an unbreakable link between your desires and your reality. Feeling deeply begins with immersing yourself in the experience of already having what you desire. This is not a future projection or a wishful thought, but a present moment realization. Close your eyes and visualize your desire as though it is already fulfilled. Then go further, step into the scene. What does it feel like to live that reality? How does it change your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions? Let yourself become fully absorbed in the experience, engaging all your senses. See the colors, hear the sounds, and most importantly, feel the emotions associated with your fulfilled desire. Is it joy, gratitude, relief? Whatever the feeling, allow it to flood your entire being. This emotional connection is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. When you feel the truth of your affirmation, you signal to your subconscious mind that it is real. The subconscious does not argue or question, it accepts what you impress upon it as truth. By feeling deeply, you bypass the doubts and limitations of the conscious mind, creating a direct path for your desires to take root in your inner world. From there, the outer world begins to shift, aligning with the new reality you have created within. It is important to note that the quality of your feelings matters as much as their intensity. Negative emotions such as fear, doubt, or frustration can act as barriers to manifestation, while positive emotions like joy, love, and gratitude accelerate the process. This is why cultivating a sense of gratitude for what you desire even before it arrives is so powerful. Gratitude is a declaration of trust and faith. It says to the universe, I believe this is already mine. When you feel grateful in advance, you align yourself with the frequency of your desired reality, drawing it closer with effortless ease. Consistency is another vital aspect of feeling deeply. Manifestation is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. You must return to the feeling of your desire regularly, reinforcing it until it becomes second nature. This repetition is what transforms a fleeting emotion into a permanent state of being. Over time, the feelings you generate will begin to influence your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, creating a powerful ripple effect that transforms your life from the inside out. One of the challenges many face is bridging the gap between their current reality and the feelings of their desired reality. It can feel unnatural or even dishonest to affirm something you do not yet see in your physical world. But this is where imagination becomes your greatest ally. Instead of focusing on what is missing, focus on what could be. Allow yourself to dream without limits, letting go of the how and simply embracing the what. The more vividly you imagine, the easier it becomes to generate the feelings associated with your desires. You must also release any resistance or attachment to the outcome. Feeling deeply does not mean forcing yourself into a state of joy or pretending to be happy when you are not. True feeling arises from alignment, not from effort. If you find it difficult to connect with the emotions of your desired reality, start with small, simple steps. Focus on what already brings you joy or gratitude in your current life. Build a foundation of positive emotions, and then extend those feelings to your affirmations. This gradual approach allows you to cultivate a genuine connection to your desires without strain or pressure. Feeling deeply is about embodying the truth of your desires. It is about living as though your affirmation is already real, not just in words but in every fiber of your being. This does not mean ignoring your present circumstances, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you are creating. When you feel deeply, you become a vibrational match to your desires, and the universe responds in kind. Let your emotions be the driving force behind your words. Speak them with conviction, but feel them with your whole heart. Let the joy, gratitude, and excitement of your fulfilled desires radiate from within you. As you do, you will find that the line between imagination and reality begins to blur. The truth you feel within will become the truth you see without, and the life you have dreamed of will unfold before you with grace and ease. The present tense is the cornerstone of manifestation. When you speak and imagine as though your desires have already come to pass, you align your mind and energy with the reality you wish to create. This is not merely a linguistic choice, but a profound shift in consciousness. By declaring I am instead of I will be, you step into the power of the present moment, where creation takes place. The universe does not operate on a timeline of future promises, it responds to the reality you embody now. Many people make the mistake of framing their desires in the future tense, I will have, I will be, or I hope to achieve. While these statements may carry good intentions, they keep your desires perpetually out of reach, always on the horizon, but never in your grasp. When you affirm in the future tense, you are acknowledging the absence of your desire in the present. This creates a gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap can become a barrier to manifestation. The power of the present tense lies in its immediacy. When you say, I am abundant or I am loved, you affirm that these truths already exist within you. You do not need to wait for external circumstances to validate them. By claiming your desires as present realities, you send a clear and unwavering message to your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not question or analyze, it accepts what you impress upon it as fact. By speaking in the present tense, you effectively program your mind to operate as though your desires are already fulfilled, setting the stage for them to manifest in your outer world. This practice requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing yourself as someone striving toward a goal, you must see yourself as someone who has already arrived. This does not mean denying your current circumstances, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you are creating. When you embody the feeling of your desires in the present moment, you become a magnet for their physical manifestation. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with your new reality, creating a powerful synergy that propels you forward. Imagination is a crucial tool in this process. To live in the present tense of your desires, you must first create a vivid mental picture of what that reality looks and feels like. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person you wish to be. What are you doing? How do you carry yourself? What emotions fill your heart? Engage all your senses to make the experience as real as possible. Then, affirm this reality with statements like, I am successful, I am healthy, or I am at peace. These declarations are not mere words, but powerful declarations of your identity. Feeling is the key to making these affirmations effective. Words spoken without emotion lack the energy needed to influence your subconscious mind. When you say I am, you must feel the truth of it deeply. Imagine the joy, gratitude, and confidence that come with having your desires fulfilled. Let those emotions fill every part of your being. This emotional resonance is what gives your affirmations their creative power. Without it, your words remain empty. Another critical aspect of using the present tense is consistency. It is not enough to affirm your desires once and expect immediate results. You must return to this practice daily, reinforcing your belief until it becomes second nature. Over time, these affirmations will reshape your self-concept, altering the way you see yourself and the world around you. As your inner reality shifts, your outer reality will follow. It is also important to silence the voice of doubt. When you begin affirming in the present tense, your conscious mind may resist. It may remind you of your current circumstances or point out the gap between your affirmations and your reality. This is normal, but you must not give these doubts power. Instead, return to your affirmations with even greater conviction. Remember, the conscious mind is limited by logic and past experiences, while the subconscious mind operates on belief. By consistently affirming your desires in the present tense, you override the doubts of the conscious mind and program your subconscious to accept a new truth. The present tense also creates a sense of urgency and focus. When you declare, I am, you eliminate procrastination and hesitation. You are no longer waiting for the right time or the perfect circumstances because you have already claimed your desires as your own. This mindset encourages you to take inspired action, aligning your behavior with your affirmations. Instead of passively hoping for change, you become an active participant in the manifestation process. Living in the present tense is not about pretending or ignoring reality. It is about choosing to see and embody the reality you wish to create. It is a bold declaration of faith in your creative power and the infinite possibilities of the universe. By speaking and imagining as though your desires have already happened, you step into a reality where the impossible becomes possible. You are no longer a seeker but a creator, shaping your world with every thought, word, and feeling. When you embrace the present tense, you unlock the true power of manifestation. You stop chasing your desires and start living them. This shift transforms not only your external circumstances but also your inner state of being. It cultivates a sense of confidence, peace, and joy that cannot be shaken. So declare with conviction, I am, and watch as your words become your reality. The power of persistence in belief cannot be overstated. In the journey of manifestation, the external world often presents challenges, contradictions, and delays that can test your resolve. Yet the secret to creating the life you desire lies in your ability to persist in your inner conviction, regardless of what appearances suggest. This unwavering faith in your inner vision is the force that molds reality to align with your desires. Reality is not dictated by what you see, but by what you hold steadfastly true within. To persist means to maintain your belief, even when circumstances seem contrary. It is easy to feel confident and secure when the world reflects your desires back to you, but the real test of your faith comes when it does not. The world outside is not fixed, it is a reflection of your internal state. If you waver in your belief, the external world mirrors that doubt. Conversely, if you persist, holding fast to the truth within you, the outer world must eventually conform. This persistence is not about ignoring the present reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it is about recognizing that the present is merely a snapshot of past thoughts and beliefs. It is the result of what you previously held as true, not a permanent condition. By understanding this, you gain the power to transcend appearances and focus on the reality you are actively creating. You are not bound by what is, you are free to shape what will be. Persistence requires inner discipline. The mind naturally wants to react to what it sees, labeling things as good or bad, possible or impossible. But true creators learn to quiet these reactions and return to their inner vision. When the external world presents evidence that contradicts your desire, resist the urge to give it power. Instead, reaffirm your belief in the reality you are creating. Each time you do, you strengthen the foundation of your new reality and weaken the hold of the old. One of the most effective ways to persist despite appearances is through imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the tool that allows you to experience your desired reality even before it manifests. When the outer world feels overwhelming or discouraging, retreat into your imagination. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. See it clearly, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions associated with it. This practice not only reinforces your belief but also shifts your inner state, which in turn influences your outer reality. Another key to persistence is emotional resilience. The journey to manifestation is rarely a straight path. There may be moments of doubt, frustration, or even despair. These emotions are natural, but they do not have to derail you. Instead of suppressing them, acknowledge their presence and gently redirect your focus to your inner truth. Remind yourself that your current emotions are temporary, but your vision is eternal. By staying anchored in your belief, you can navigate these emotional waves without losing sight of your goal. Gratitude is a powerful ally in maintaining persistence. When you feel gratitude for your desired reality as though it has already manifested, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude is an acknowledgement of the truth you hold within, and it strengthens your connection to that truth. It transforms your perspective, allowing you to see even the smallest signs of progress as evidence of your manifestation. This positive reinforcement fuels your persistence, keeping your belief alive and vibrant. It is also important to surround yourself with supportive influences. The people, environments, and information you engage with can either strengthen or weaken your resolve. Choose to immerse yourself in inspiration and positivity. Seek out those who understand and respect your journey, and distance yourself from voices of doubt or negativity. Your belief is a sacred space, and it must be protected from anything that might compromise it. Time can often feel like an obstacle to persistence, but it is important to remember that time is not the enemy. Manifestation unfolds according to divine timing, which often aligns with the perfect moment for your highest good. Trust in this process. Impatience stems from a lack of belief, while patience is a demonstration of faith. By persisting, you affirm that your desire is inevitable, no matter how long it takes to appear. Persistence is not about brute force or stubbornness, it is about gentle, unwavering faith. It is the quiet confidence that what you hold true within must eventually be reflected without. This faith is not dependent on evidence or validation, it exists because you choose to believe. Each time you persist, you are declaring to yourself and the universe that your vision is more real to you than the temporary circumstances around you. When you persist despite appearances, you step into your role as a creator of your reality. You stop being a passive observer of life and become an active participant in its design. You align with the truth that reality is malleable, shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. In this state, nothing can stand in your way, for the power within you is greater than any obstacle outside you. Hold your vision firmly, no matter what the world shows you. See beyond appearances to the truth of what you are creating. Know that your inner reality is the blueprint for your outer world, and by persisting, you are bringing that blueprint to life. Trust the process, stay rooted in your belief, and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable. Evening is a sacred time, a gateway to the subconscious mind where the seeds of your desires can be planted most effectively. As the day comes to a close and the mind begins to unwind, the barriers of logic and resistance dissolve, leaving the subconscious open and impressionable. It is during these moments, just before sleep, that the conscious mind hands over its final impressions to the subconscious, which works tirelessly to bring those impressions into form. The subconscious mind is the engine of creation, faithfully executing the instructions it receives. Unlike the conscious mind, it does not question, analyze, or resist. It simply accepts what is impressed upon it as truth. This is why the moments before sleep are so powerful. In this twilight state, known as the hypnagogic state, your thoughts and feelings are directly transmitted to the subconscious without interference from doubt or contradiction. Whatever you dwell upon during this time becomes the blueprint for your reality. To make the most of this gateway, it is essential to approach the evening with intention. The thoughts you entertain before sleep should be aligned with your desires and aspirations. If you allow yourself to replay the worries, frustrations, or disappointments of the day, you risk embedding those negative emotions into your subconscious, perpetuating their effects in your life. Instead, consciously choose to focus on what you wish to create, and let your last waking thoughts be ones of hope, joy, and fulfillment. Visualization is a powerful tool to use during this time. As you lie in bed, close your eyes and imagine your desired reality as vividly as possible. See yourself living the life you desire, experiencing the joy, success, or love you seek. Engage all your senses, see the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and immerse yourself fully in the experience. Most importantly, feel the emotions associated with your desire. The subconscious responds most strongly to emotion, so allow yourself to feel gratitude, excitement, or peace as though your desire is already fulfilled. Affirmations are another effective method for planting seeds in the subconscious during the evening. Repeat statements that reflect your desires in the present tense, such as I am abundant, I am loved, or I am healthy. Speak these affirmations softly, either aloud or in your mind, and allow their truth to sink in deeply. Combine them with visualization for an even more potent effect. For example, as you affirm, I am successful, picture yourself achieving a specific goal or celebrating a milestone. The combination of words and imagery creates a vivid impression that the subconscious cannot ignore. It is also beneficial to cultivate a sense of gratitude before sleep. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Reflect on the things you are grateful for, both in your current life and in the reality you are creating. By feeling gratitude as though your desires have already manifested, you align yourself with the vibration of fulfillment and abundance. This not only impresses your desires upon the subconscious, but also sets the tone for the following day, attracting more experiences to be grateful for. The evening gateway is not just about what you think and feel, it is also about the environment you create. Your physical and mental surroundings can influence the quality of your impressions. Create a calming bedtime routine that supports relaxation and positive focus. Dim the lights, play soothing music, or meditate to quiet your mind. Avoid consuming negative or stressful content before bed, as it can disrupt your ability to focus on your desires. Instead, read or listen to uplifting material that inspires and reinforces your intentions. Consistency is key to making the most of the evening gateway. The subconscious mind learns through repetition, so make this practice a nightly ritual. Over time, the repeated impressions will take root and begin to shape your reality. Even if you do not see immediate results, trust that the process is working. The subconscious operates on its own timeline, orchestrating events and circumstances in ways that may not be immediately apparent. Patience and persistence are essential. It is important to approach this practice with a sense of ease and trust. Do not force your visualizations or affirmations. Instead, allow them to flow naturally. The subconscious does not respond well to tension or strain, as these are signs of doubt. Instead, relax into the feeling of your desire, knowing that it is already on its way. Let go of the need to control the outcome or the timeline, and simply focus on the joy and fulfillment of the present moment. As you drift off to sleep, carry these thoughts and feelings with you. The subconscious will take over from there, working through the night to bring your desires closer to reality. In this way, the evening becomes a powerful ally in your journey of creation. It is a time to let go of the worries of the day and step into the reality you wish to create. Each night is an opportunity to align yourself with your highest potential. By using the evening gateway wisely, you harness the full power of your subconscious mind, turning your dreams into reality. Let your last thoughts be ones of love, gratitude, and certainty, and watch as the seeds you plant in the evening blossom into the life you desire. Faith is the cornerstone of all manifestation, the invisible force that bridges the gap between your desires and their realization. It is not a passive hope, but an active, living conviction that what you seek is already yours. Faith operates beyond logic, beyond evidence, and beyond the physical world, drawing upon the unseen yet undeniable power of belief. It is through faith that the impossible becomes possible, for faith sees reality not as it is but as it can be. To have faith means to trust implicitly in the truth of your inner vision. This trust is not contingent upon external validation or immediate results. Rather, it is rooted in the certainty that the unseen is just as real as the seen. When you have faith, you no longer question whether your desires will manifest. You know they are already a reality within you. This knowing transforms the way you think, feel, and act, aligning every aspect of your being with your desired outcome. Faith is not a passive state, it is dynamic and active. It requires you to think and act as though your desires have already come to fruition. This is the essence of living in the end, a practice that shifts your focus from lack to fulfillment. When you embody the mindset and emotions of having already achieved your goals, you align yourself with the frequency of your desires. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic pull that draws your desires into your physical reality. Acting as though the impossible is already yours does not mean pretending or forcing a false sense of reality. Instead, it is about embodying the essence of your desire with genuine conviction. For example, if your goal is financial abundance, faith does not require you to spend recklessly or deny your current circumstances. Instead, it asks you to adopt the mindset of abundance, to feel gratitude for the wealth already flowing into your life, to make decisions from a place of security rather than fear, and to trust that every step you take is leading you closer to your financial goals. Faith also influences the way you handle challenges and setbacks. In the absence of faith, obstacles can feel like insurmountable barriers, feeding doubt and discouragement. But with faith, challenges become opportunities to reaffirm your belief. They are no longer threats but stepping stones, each one serving to strengthen your resolve and deepen your commitment to your vision. Faith allows you to see beyond temporary difficulties, keeping your focus on the ultimate outcome. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to transform your internal state. When you truly believe that your desires are already yours, you naturally enter a state of peace and confidence. This inner calm is a reflection of your trust in the process, your knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. It eliminates the need for worry or desperation, replacing them with a sense of ease and certainty. This shift in your internal state not only feels good but also has a profound impact on your external reality. The energy of faith is magnetic, attracting people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires. Faith is not something you summon only in moments of need, it is a way of life. It requires daily cultivation and practice. One way to strengthen your faith is through visualization. By consistently imagining your desires as already fulfilled, you reinforce your belief in their reality. Another powerful practice is gratitude. By expressing gratitude for your desires as though they are already yours, you affirm their presence in your life and deepen your faith in their manifestation. It is important to understand that faith does not rely on physical evidence. In fact, the strongest faith often exists in the absence of any proof. This is because faith operates in the realm of the unseen, where the seeds of manifestation are planted and nurtured. When you require evidence to believe, you are relying on the external world to dictate your internal state. But true faith works in the opposite direction. It starts within and shapes the external world accordingly. Doubt is the greatest adversary of faith. It is natural for doubt to arise, especially when the path ahead seems unclear or when progress appears slow. However, doubt can only take root if you allow it. The key is to recognize doubt for what it is, a temporary thought, not an ultimate truth. When doubt arises, reaffirm your faith by returning to your vision. Remind yourself that the absence of evidence is not the absence of progress. Trust in the unseen forces that are working behind the scenes to bring your desires to life. Faith also calls for patience. Manifestation is not always instantaneous, and the timing may not align with your expectations. But faith understands that everything unfolds in divine timing, often in ways that are more perfect than you could have imagined. Then trust in this timing and allow the process to unfold without resistance. The waiting period is not a void, it is a time of preparation, growth, and alignment, ensuring that you are ready to receive what you have asked for. Faith is the key that unlocks all doors. It is the unwavering belief that your desires are not just possible but inevitable. This belief transforms the impossible into the inevitable, for faith knows no limitations. When you think, feel, and act from this place of certainty, you become a powerful creator of your reality. The world outside you begins to shift, reflecting the truth you hold within. Trust in your faith and watch as it bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. In conclusion, faith is the most powerful force in the process of manifestation. It is the bridge that connects your desires to their physical reality. Through unwavering belief, acting as if your desires are already realized, and persistently nurturing that belief, you activate the full potential of your mind and the universe. The impossible becomes possible when you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the certainty that what you seek is already yours. Faith is not passive, it is an active, living force that moves mountains and opens doors that once seemed closed. By using the evening to cultivate faith, visualizing your desires, and affirming them with conviction, you can plant the seeds of your future and let the power of faith transform your life. With faith, you unlock a reality filled with limitless possibilities and endless opportunities. Thank you for taking the time to listen. May you always trust in the power of your faith, knowing that every dream, no matter how big, is already on its way to becoming your reality.